So anyway, Sam Show. People wanted to talk a little bit about Sam Show, right? I watched some footage from Samurai Showdown. Now, keep in mind, I watched some of the footage that Joe posted and some of the footage that Max posted, right? L.I. Joe and Maximilian both posted some footage of Samurai Showdown. And I thought I'd check it out. A lot of people in my chat were like, yo, Sam Show looks super sick. You should check it out. It looks really cool, blah, 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 right? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, I'll check out the footage. A lot of people were hyping it up to me, right? So I was like, all right, let me take a peek at what Sam Show looks like. And they were just talking about how sick it looks and blah, 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 all that stuff, right? So I was like, all right, well, people in my chat are really excited for Sam Show. They all think the game looks really good. So I was like, let me go take a peek at the trailers. Let me go take a peek at like all the footage that's gone up so far for Samurai Showdown. So the first thing, I click on the video. The first things first, it looks weird. I don't know. A lot of people were saying that the art style looks great. It looks a little weird to me. I don't think, like, visually, I'm not in love with the way it looks. It doesn't look to me like a very, like, this game is ready to come out right now. Right? It looks a little weird. I don't think visually I like the art style that much. It looks kind of strange to me. It looks a little pieced together. I don't know that that's how it's going to look finally, but I don't know. It doesn't strike me as a very beautiful game. When you look at Dragon Ball, like, that game is beautiful, right? You look at Guilty Gear, like, that game looks incredibly good. You look at I don't know, like, Mortal Kombat 11 visually, right? You look at the game and like how the models look and you're like, damn. It looks really good, right? Like, you see the story trailer for MK and you see the faces and stuff. You're like, wow, these characters visually look really, really good. Sam Show does not look that good. It does not look, I was like, it's all right. But I was like, all right, well, who gives a shit, right? Maybe it wasn't the best looking game of all time, but let me check it out. So I started watching the footage for Sam Show, and I saw, like, people are walking back and forth and shit, and like they're doing stuff, and this guy leans in and he's just like, whatcha, and he chops another dude, and he hits him, and it's like, and then he comes out of hit stun, and I was like, Jesus Christ. It took 5 seconds for him to be out of hit stun from one attack. And I was like, I guess that's a very Samurai Showdown thing, right? He got hit by this attack, and it just took fucking 5 seconds for him to run out of hit stun. I was like, man, that looks weird. It's very jarring. But I was like, all right, he got his ass cut up, right? And then someone woke up with a DP, and he's like, whatcha? And he finished the DP, right? Because the hit stop is so long on all these moves. And I was like, okay, well, that's their style, right? Like, they just take forever for every fucking move. It's just a million frames of hit stop on every single thing that they do, right? So it's a very jarring looking game because the game is, like, it doesn't look that good, right? Like, visually, I don't like the art style that much. And then I see how the hit stop looks, and you have this janky looking character model, like, going through a body. I'm like, okay, it's a little weird. And I'm like, I can get behind this, right? If that's the way it is, that's the way it is. And then people start talking about Sam Show. And then they started saying, like, stuff like, yeah, Sam Show is a very deliberate game. It's very slow. If you get hit once, you die. Like, blah, blah, blah. So then I saw, like, people just walking back and forth, like, waiting. And then, like, one guy gets a cut, and it's like, ching, and then he just cuts him. And then they walk back and forth. Then one guy gets a throw, and it's like, and he puts the sword away, right? Takes, like, 10 seconds for the throw to happen. And I'm like, this game is going to take forever. If every hit takes 10 seconds for the hit stop to happen, if a throw takes 10 seconds, if it's like a deliberate walking back and forth, like, don't hit a buttons because we're playing footsie game, right? Like, this game is going to be real long. Right? Like, it's just going to take forever for everything to happen. I was like, all right, well, I see what you mean. Yeah, someone says in the chat, at least the supers do 80%, but if the supers do 80%, you're just going to be like backing up, like, oh shit, I don't want to hit a button because I don't want to get supered, so I'm just going to walk back and forth. You jumped, anti-air, got his bitch ass. So I was like, all right, well, I don't know. It's going to be like a very slow-paced, deliberate kind of game, right? Which is cool, but I want to get my hands on it because my first impression watching it is that I don't think it looks very good, and it's a little jarring, the hit stop to me, which I understand is a Samurai Showdown thing. It just still looks a little jarring with the current art style. It's just funny because, like, everybody was, like, so excited for me to take a look at the foot. They were like, you have to see the footage of this game. It's fucking gangster. Sam Show is the sickest thing I've ever seen in my life, right? I was like, all right, let me take a look. People were real hype about the footage, and I saw the footage, and I was like, nah, I mean, all right. Yeah, I'm 24, and the last Sam Show came out in 1986, I guess. I mean, I was born 8 years after the last Sam Show came out. I don't know what to tell you. Whenever it came out. I don't know when it came out, but I don't remember it. Fucking 1984 Olympics is when the last Sam Show came out. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, I saw the footage, and I don't think I'm as excited as everybody else, but I mean, if the game's cool, the game's cool, right? On the topic of deliberate games, you know, one thing I keep hearing is like people are excited for Sam Show because everybody's like, yeah, the thing about Sam Show is that it's going to be like a really slow, footsie heavy game. And I can't wait for that. There's this weird perception in fighting games that like slow, footsie heavy games are like the best thing a game could be. And that if the game is built around walking back and forth and whiff punishing and footsies, like it's a great game, right? The reason watching someone play slow, deliberate footsies is fun is when his opponent doesn't want to do that. And his opponent wants to get in and knock him down and kill him in one hit. Or his opponent wants to play like a fast-paced ground game and knock you down and kill you. Or your opponent wants to play a character that has an aerial approach. But the opponent's like ground game and ability to slow the match down is so good that it stops the other guy from being able to do it. Or like the deliberate footsies of like two players when they match up against each other is just different from what you normally watch, which is like a fast-paced player versus a slow-paced player, right? Or like two fast-paced players playing or something like that. The thing about fighting games is that you don't want it to just be I walk back and forth and play slow footsies, and you walk back and forth and play slow footsies. Because then the game is just, it has no variety in terms of the play styles that people will play, right? You want it to be a game where some people can play high flyers that kill you if they hit you and they have low health. You want it to be big body grappler characters that struggle to get in, but once they do get in, they have big threats. You want it to be long range zoner characters that play slow and run for their life, and if you get in, you just swallow them and they die. You want it to be slow paced, walking back and forth like space control characters who, once you finally get in on them, you deserve your hit and you can like win and kill the other character, right? Like, you know, you want there to be like a variety of play styles because that's what makes an interesting and fun game. You don't want every match to be the same. So you need a combination of all those things, right, to make a game that's interesting. So when people say, I wish this game was only walking back and forth and playing footsies all the time, it's like, do you? Would that be fun for 5 years to play like a fighting game where all you do is do that, right? I'm saying it also wouldn't be that exciting if you both played characters that just sprinted at each other and you exploded when you get hit. Like, you need the variety, not just one way, not just, you know, I want variety away from footsies. You want variety in terms of like, I want to be able to do all these different things. I want to have a grapple. I want to have this. I want to have that. I'm not picking on Sam Show. People keep saying, well, Sam Show has different. I'm not saying that. What people are saying because of Sam Show, they're saying, yeah, I love Sam Show. I can't wait because it's going to be a game where only people who play footsies and fundamentals is going to win, blah, blah, blah. That attitude is what I'm talking about, not the game itself. Don't get it confused. Don't cross the wires. People have a weird fetish for that kind of game. It's strange. The thing is you have to understand that having a variety of playstyles is what makes it interesting. If you just sit and focus on, like, all I want to do is walk back and do that, it's like, no, you need more to the game than that. And otherwise, it's not going to be an interesting game. And fighting games and all kinds of games are interesting when you see different playstyles and strategies and mindsets and player, like, representation and, like kind of the way that they play as a player is cool.